Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Red Shadow, and it's been a little while. Um, it's also this particular video, October's pickups, is a week late. I meant to do it at the beginning of the month, and just for whatever reason lost my motivation every time I thought about doing it. So figured today we'll get it done. It's Sunday, November 7th. It's my birthday. Hee-haw. And I felt like, you know what, it's as good a time as any to do this before we get any further into November. So anyway, this is my pickups for October. This is a separate video from the monthly roundup because I actually have a few things to show here for the month. So let's just jump right on into it. I got a little bit of a stack here. One movie and then the rest are games. The one movie that I did pick up in October was Transformers, the movie, on Blu-ray. Now, even though this doesn't say anywhere here on the front, as far as I know, this is a 35th anniversary release for this movie. I don't know if it's the first time it's ever been on Blu-ray, but I only had it on DVD, and this was only like $12.96 at Walmart. And so I had to grab it up. I'm a big fan of the original Transformers, the first few seasons, I guess basically what was known as Generation 1, which is the first 3 seasons, I think, and then this movie. After this movie, what I watched of Transformers back when I was younger and what I've watched in the last, say, 30-some years, I didn't care for it. I just really didn't like how cosmic and philosophical and grand and spectrum that the Transformers series went. Nothing wrong with them doing that. I just didn't care for it. As a kid, what I wanted was robots that could transform on planet Earth, interacting with humans, the Autobots and Decepticons. That was all I wanted. I didn't want world-eating planets, crazy over-the-top, like religious and political implications. Just, it didn't interest me. I didn't want any of that, and I just soured on basically anything Transformers that came after that in terms of the cartoon. I am a fan of the Michael Bay movies because they're just, you know, live-action Transformers and whatever. They didn't, to me, they didn't have to be faithful renditions of, you know, the original cartoon or anything like that. But as far as the cartoons go, like I said, the first few seasons up to the movie are amazing, and anything after that just fell flat for me. So that was my one movie pickup for the month. And now we've got games, and of course this month around it's all PS4 games. I added 8 games, and we'll start with a clearance pickup of a PS4 game that I will probably never be able to play. Who knows? Maybe I will, but it's Iron Man VR, and the reason why I can't play it is because I don't have PSVR. Maybe someday I'll get it. I don't think I would buy it just to play one $4 clearance game. There's a lot of PSVR games I'm interested in, but I've said it many times before, I'm just afraid of getting a VR system of any kind and getting motion sickness, getting migraine headaches, getting nauseous, any of that kind of stuff. I don't mind putting a game like this on my shelf for $4 for the sake of the collection. But it'll be a long time coming for me if I ever decide to try to get into VR. I'd like to be able to try a VR unit a few different times to see how I would feel. But anyway, heads up, if you've got a Walmart in your area, you might check them out. They have a lot of games that are on clearance. There were only a couple of games at my Walmart that were on clearance, but I saw people on the Facebook groups that I'm in showing all kinds of games, anywhere from like $4 titles to games that were $15 or $20 that are normally $40 to $60. So probably not a good probably not a bad time to look into the Walmarts around you and see what they've got Okay, up next I got my couple of limited run games that came in for me during October. The first one was only a distributed limited run game, or distributed by limited run. Limited run. It's not an actual numbered limited run title, but this is Shadows of Adam, which is another one of countless like 32-bit aesthetic JRPG games. This is put out by PM Studios. And I just remember looking at it, looking at the artwork. I don't know how well it'll come through, especially with the cellophane still on it, but it's got pretty good looking graphics, and a lot like the Kemco games that I get from them. I just figured one of these days I'm going to sit down, look at my shelf, say, ooh, I want to play one of those games. That's going to feel like an old SNES or PS1 JRPG, and so as long as they keep putting them out, I'll keep trying to put them on my shelf. Up next, we have a game called Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling. This one I got because it was advertised as being as close to a Paper Mario game as you would find nowadays, like original Paper Mario, but also on a system other than Nintendo. So if you're a PS4 owner like me, but you want a game that's like Paper Mario, here you go. Here's a game that's going to be like Paper Mario. And so I had to jump on that, give me a chance to play it. It's got really interesting looking graphics. I like the graphical style on it. It's kind of cartoony. That was just my thinking on that was I've played a little bit of the original Paper Mario on N64, and it was fun and interesting enough, and I think I own a couple Paper Mario games. The Color Splash, I think, for the Wii U is one that I have, but I haven't played any of those. I'm more likely to sit down and play this sooner than I would be any of the Paper Mario games. Alright, next thing up, and the last of the limited run games, I'm pretty sure, is Doom, the Classics Collection. This is Doom 1, 2, and 3, all on one collection, released by Limited Run Games earlier this year. Came in a couple weeks back. This now can go on the shelf next to Doom 64. And I think I have the first Doom 2016, the Doom that came out for PS4 and Xbox One. I still need to get Doom Eternal. I still need to play through a lot of these. It's been years since I've played Doom 1 or 2. I've never played Doom 3. So that was another no-brainer for sure to have a collection like this with some old classic games. Easy to play, ready to go, pop in the system and go. And not have to download it digitally. Alright, next thing that came out was something I didn't think I was going to see come to the PS4. One of those, I call them YouTube or Twitch games. Something that popped up in the last few years and got the attention of a lot of Let's Players, and a lot of people were playing it, talking about it. Eventually, because of the stuff that I watch, it got around to me that this was an interesting game. And then all of a sudden it came out earlier this year that they were going to be putting it on consoles, PS4, I can't remember, but I know Switch, I think Xbox One as well. Anyway, what that is Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. This is a strange visual novel style game. And I've heard so much about this. I've heard that it's kind of a horror game, or at least it has kind of horrific aspects to it, that it seems like one thing and then it goes drastically in another direction. And I'm just like, that sounds cool to me. Let's give this a shot. So I pre-ordered this. Originally, when it came out that this was going to happen, the only way to do it was through Serenity Forge, which I'm guessing they're the developer or the publisher of this game, and it sounded like their website was going to be the only place to be able to pre-order this. And then, of course, it popped up on some other mainstream retailers, I think like GameStop, Best Buy, whatever. But I was just glad to grab this before it possibly becomes something that's gets a short run or only one edition before it just, never gets made physically again. So hopefully that's good, and I don't. Well, it was only $30, so I have a hard time thinking any $20 to $30 games are a waste of money if they're not great or if they don't affect me the way that they seem to have affected other people. So I'm good either way. All right, next thing up is something I was eagerly awaiting after I saw it got announced. I want to say earlier this year or maybe late last year, because this is a series and a character, a franchise that I've wanted to get into for years. I have a handful of games from this series about this character, but I haven't really ever played them. The old Genesis games for this were something I tried to get into years back, and I could just never really understand what all the hype and stuff was about. Anyway, let me just show what this is really quick. This is Sonic Colors Ultimate, and this is I want to call it like a launch edition that comes with a Baby Sonic keychain, as you see there. But, yeah, the point of what I was saying before was that when I had a Super Nintendo, even though Mario games weren't my main go-to, Super Mario World is probably my favorite Mario game. And after having played, Super Mario's 1, 2, and 3 and World, I got it. I could understand what the action platformer Mario formula was. Sega wanted to have their own mascot, for their console, and made basically a similar gameplay style game, except they injected the speed idea into it. Sonic's got to go fast, runs around, loop-de-loops, jumps. But I don't understand. I've never really understood how that worked in a platforming game when, to me, in a platforming game, you want to jump on all the platforms, bonk or hit whatever is there, any enemies. You want to jump up and get all the coins or rings or whatever it is. But in Sonic, you're shooting off of ramps and you're flying all over the damn place. And it feels like the whole "you got to go fast" prevents you from being able to stop and explore and look around at things and collect all the things. So Sonic has always remained a little bit out of my reach. But like I said, I get the games, and I was excited to get this one. I know Sonic Colors is supposed to be a pretty respectable entry in the series. I like these box games, and since Walmart still had some of these, since I've gotten back to work, I was like, I have got to pick this up. It was only like $33.88. We'll see how it goes. All right, and then the last two things I have to show are also both highly anticipated games by me. One is like Sonic Colors, kind of a remaster of a game, and then the other one is a big brand new release. So we'll start with Alan Wake Remastered, Remedy's kind of horror game from 2011, 2012. I have Alan Wake on the 360. I got it back in those days, that couple of year period where I had the 360 and it was my main console. Alan Wake was high on my radar back then. I was like, I'm going to get this game. I'm going to play it. I did get it. I did play it. I don't know why I fell off after a while. Probably something else came out that I was really wanting to play. And sometimes even when you're really looking forward to a game, some other thing comes along and you're like, oh, I've got to play that now. And I never went back to it. So I was hyped up when I heard there was a leak going around that this was coming out, that there was a remaster coming along. Basically the same game with some improved graphics here and there, but mainly just brought over to the new consoles. I'm sure it's just going to look better, getting that bump in a generation for the graphics. But I got this because, once again, this is like a $30 game. I have my 360. It's essentially still hooked up. I can still play these games on it, but I wouldn't go back to the 360 and restart that game when I could do this on my PS4 and start from the beginning with this. This also has all of the DLC included with it. I thought that was mentioned here on the back, but I know that it does. I've heard people talking about it when they were talking about this, reviewing it and whatnot. So yeah, this was, like I said, a no-brainer. Absolutely was going to get Alan Wake. Definitely going to sit down and play it. Would have loved to have played it in October. I only played one horror game, even though I kind of had a few on deck and this was coming along. But that's alright. I'm still going to play it probably within the next couple of months and finally get to the end of that one. Okay, and then the last game to show is actually the game I'm playing. It's on my TV right now. It's Far Cry 6, of course. I'm such a big Far Cry fan. In anticipation and the lead up to this game, last summer, 2020, I replayed Far Cry 3 Classic Edition on PS4. And then a little bit later in the year, I played Far Cry 4. And then a few months back, I think over the summer, like July or something of this year, I played Far Cry 5. And then literally, and I'll talk about it in the monthly roundup, but in October I played and finished Far Cry New Dawn, squeezed in the one horror game that I played for October, and then started on Far Cry 6, I think literally on Halloween Day. And so I've been playing a couple of days this past week, and it's really, really good. I'm going to have more thoughts about it in the monthly roundup, but I'm definitely super happy that I jumped in and grabbed it now. I thought about waiting to get this. I thought about giving myself a little bit of room, play some other games, maybe get this when it was on sale, but man, the urge was just too great. Had to grab it as soon as possible. So those are my game pickups and my one movie pickup, and I almost forgot. Speaking of Walmart deals, I got this shirt clearance at Walmart, $5. I've been waiting to get a good licensed Sony PlayStation shirt from anywhere, but especially Walmart, and they just never had anything that really appealed to me. And then this, the Sacred Symbols, $5, couldn't pass that up. Alright guys, well that's it for this pickup video, and I will make every effort I can at the very end of November to get the video up immediately, because it just bothers me being a week into this month talking about last month's stuff. So anyway, that'll do it. We'll see you in the next video in the monthly roundup.